as you know, if any of you have heard me before, the one thing that has moved my life on is my grandfather's advice to say, why not? And the other one was that when I rode the Atlantic, a man called Jock Wishart was the leader of all the guys that had a bet on whether I would last 2 weeks, 2 days, or 2 hours. And as you know, I lasted 101 days. Well, a few years after this, I was at a dinner. And sitting next to me was Mr. Jock Wishart. And he went, oh, hello, Jan. Very embarrassed. I said, hello, Jock. What are you doing these days? He said, I'm organising a race. The hardest race in the world. From Resolute Bay to the magnetic North Pole. And I just got a feeling, just here. And I said, do you think I could do it, Jock? For goodness sake, woman, you rode the Atlantic. Of course you can. Ha ha. So if you remember from the Atlantic, Daniel had rung me up saying, how would you like to spend Christmas in Barbados? So I rang him up and I said, how would you like to spend Easter skiing? Mother. I said, mother and son team, 10th anniversary of rowing the Atlantic, race to the magnetic North Pole. Well, you know the family motto, why not? And he had just come out of the army. He'd had 10 years, and proud mum, he'd become the youngest major in the British Army. And he'd come out of the army and he was planning to go into politics, but he was taking a year out. So what better to do than join mother in the race? Now, I had got supremely fit when I rode the Atlantic, and I hadn't kept it up. You know how you plan to keep it up, and I jolly well hadn't. And I had to get fit again. And I went along to my trainer and I said, Jason, I've got another challenge for you. I'm racing to the magnetic North Pole. He said, I've got good news for you, Jan, and I've got good news for you too. Muscles have memories. And they do. It only took me about 3 months to really get up to scratch again. But I had to be fitter. Because, you know, while we were rowing, if by chance you felt poorly or you didn't feel well, you could ship the oars and drift. Whereas I knew in the harsh climate of the North Pole, there would be no sitting and relaxing. And also, 10 years older now, 63 instead of 53, I thought, I've got to be fitter than I think I should be because I don't want to let anyone down. And we actually had a third member of the team. Daniel decided, we had a friend called Richard, really big and tall, very good for putting up tents. So he asked Richard, would you like to join my mother and I on a trek to the North Pole? He said, your mother? Daniel said, she's not just an ordinary mother. And this is where you'll see at the bottom there, the three of us, we went on a summer tough guys trek. I don't know if anyone here has ever done it. Don't laugh. I didn't want to do the winter one because I don't like the cold.